Like a bunch of people kind of bombarded us. They wanted pictures. A couple people were asking me to sign gloves. Like I signed like 4 or 5 different gloves from like 3 or 4 different fans. Like I get punched in the mouth real quick and kind of get dizzed up. And it's Jorge Masvidal. You shouldn't have talked about my kids. You shouldn't talk about my kids. Yes, I do have a history of knowing this person. I lived with him for 2 years and we were training partners for 8 years. We were very close friends. We literally trained together every single day. We were best friends. Obviously, I just fought this individual 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas, Nevada for the UFC on their pay-per-view, and I beat him easily. He chipped my front tooth and knocked it out. So the reference to the kids is in our last fight, the build-up at the press conference, I said, hey, you're a deadbeat dad. You don't talk to your kids. So I still talk to his ex-wife and his baby mama. I'm still close with the family, and I still like the kids. And I was being honest. I said the honest truth. I know it's fight promotion, and anything kind of goes when you're just trying to sell a fight. But I said the truth. I just said, hey, why don't you talk to your kids?
What is that, a Rolex?
Yeah, this is a Rolex Presidential.
Presidential.
A day date.
Day date.
Oyster Perpetual.
This is Detective Cole with the City of Miami Beach Police Department. This is Detective Gonzalez. We're here at the Miami Beach Police Department. Today's date is 3/22 of 2022. The time is now 0:21 hours. I'm speaking with reference to an incident that took place on 3/21/2022 at 22:50 hours. If you could just raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth upon oath and affirmation in accordance with the laws of the state of Florida?
I do.
Okay. You can lower your hand. And are you under the influence of any substance, including medication, that may affect your ability to correctly answer my questions?
No.
Okay. So if you could just break down what happened today. I know you were at a restaurant. You were leaving the restaurant. If you could just run through what happened once you left the restaurant.
So I was eating inside Poppy Steakhouse with my friend Cal Forgard, who's the main guy for the Nelk Boys, and then another guy named Bob Menery, who's a super famous personality. He used to be the voiceover for Buffalo Wild Wings, so he has a big platform and a big thing. And they put up a story post, that we were hanging out together, but we didn't post where we were. But I could see that it's easy to identify the background of where we were. You see the flowers, you see all the extravagant stuff that is at Poppy Steakhouse. So we decided we're going to leave Poppy and we're going to go to Swan to go meet up with some people over there, some friends. And we're sitting outside, and as soon as we walk out, like a bunch of people kind of bombarded us. They wanted pictures. A couple people were asking me to sign gloves. Like I signed like 4 or 5 different gloves from like 3 or 4 different fans. And we were there for probably like 3 to 5 minutes right outside Poppy Steakhouse. And then we're like, hey, let's go. Let's get out of here. It's time to go. As soon as we're about to walk across the street, I get sideswiped from the side. Like I get punched in the mouth real quick and kind of get dizzed up. I look up and I see who it is. I can see in his eyes. It's Jorge Masvidal. I can see his hair coming out of his hoodie, but he has a face mask on, a surgical face mask. But he's saying, you shouldn't have fucking talked about my kids. You shouldn't have fucking talked about my kids. So I was easily able to identify, like, that's his voice, that's his eyes, that's his hair. I know exactly who that is. And he took 2 quick punches to me. Like, it happened so fast when we were crossing the street to go to my car, to leave, to go to the next place, that he came from the side and bam, took 2 fast clips at me. And then, like, we're, like, squared up, and I'm, like, getting him off of me because he's with, like, a couple people. And there was, like, one bigger guy that had his fist clenched, and he was going to come at me. But I was able to get away from George, run back in Poppy Steakhouse. He followed me back into Poppy Steakhouse. He opened it, but there was a couple security guards at Poppy Steakhouse in the front. They're like, no, you can't come in, get out. I went behind the bar. I called the police station, and I waited for your guys' arrival.
All right, so backing up, you said that you were certain that it's Jorge Masvidal. And how is it that you're able to determine that? Do you have a history of knowing this person? And if you do, if you could explain how long and stuff like that.
So, yes, I do have a history of knowing this person because I lived with him for 2 years, and we were training partners for 8 years. So we were very close friends. We literally trained together every single day. We were best friends. Obviously, I just fought this individual 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas, Nevada for the UFC on their pay-per-view, and I beat him easily. And so I know exactly what he looks like, his eyes, his hair, and so his voice.
He's a very familiar person to you, someone you've dealt with numerous times in the past. And you said that he punched you 2 times. Did you suffer any injury?
I mean, I definitely suffered the injury to my tooth. He chipped my front tooth and knocked it out. And, I mean, I'm the adrenaline's still kind of going right now, but he definitely rocked me. I saw stars a little bit, but I stayed on my feet, and I was like I was just trying to get to safety. That's all I was concerned about.
Okay. And did you see if he got into any vehicle or anything like that when he left?
I wasn't able to see if he got into any vehicle because I ran into the steakhouse, and he followed me kind of that way, so I just stayed in the steakhouse and was
So
trying
you
to get
said
over.
he was wearing a surgical mask. If you could just
Yep.
describe the clothing that you remember. I know that you got struck, but if you could just go over the clothing that you do remember that he was wearing.
Yeah, he was definitely wearing a sweater. I don't know what type of sweater it was. It was either gray or black. And then he was definitely wearing like some sweats, and he had his hoodie on. He had the surgical mask on, and I think he maybe had like a hat on. But I could clearly see his eyes, and I could clearly see his long curly hair, which he always has long curly hair now. He only braids it when he fights. So yeah, I could just automatically tell by his brown eyes, his long brown curly hair, and his voice saying, "Yeah, you shouldn't talk about my kids. You shouldn't talk about my kids."
All right.
Yeah, the thing with the kids, what's the reference on that? If you can explain, because you may know more than us what
Yeah.
that refers to, right?
So the reference to the kids is in our last fight, the build up at the press conference. I said, "Hey, you're a deadbeat dad. You don't talk to your kids, you know, because
Okay.
I have a relationship with his kids as well because we were that close of friends. So I still talk to his ex-wife and his baby mama, a woman named Maritza. So I'm still close with the family, and I still like the kids. And I was being honest. I said the honest truth. I know it's fight promotion, and anything kind of goes when you're just trying to sell a fight. But I said the truth. I just said, hey, why don't you talk to your kids? You know, why are you a deadbeat father?
And that was before the fight, during the press conference.
That was before the fight and during the press conference of the fight.
Okay.
And you think he's just taking, he's retaliating against you because of that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. If you could just go ahead and when you do get your tooth fixed, provide me with the medical records, bills, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
That's it.
What
Alright.
about for the watch too? Because
Oh,
like
the
I mean,
watch was-
Okay, so
I
you
mean,
did suffer
he
damage to your.
There's definitely some scuffs on here on my watch, and this is like brand new, pretty much.
There's the watch.